We start the meeting. I'd like to invite the Zion Queens to come forward. They're going to help me out here a little bit. Okay, these are the queens, Zion Queens, and they're going to open a meeting for us today. And first we have Little Miss Zion. Wait a minute, excuse me. Little Miss Zion, Addison Wentz. You don't have to do it real hard, just right here. Go ahead. You can do it. Back it home. Back it up. Go ahead. You want me to do it? Here, I'll help you. Ready?
I call this meeting of the Zion City Council to order.
Now I will call the roll. Commissioner Deteen.
Here.
Commissioner Fisher.
Here.
Commissioner McDowell.
Here.
Commissioner McKenney.
Here.
And Mayor Hill.
Here.
Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now I forgot to introduce the other three. So we have Little Miss Zion is Addison Wentz. Junior Miss Zion is Sierra Linke. Teen Miss Zion is Janessa Linke. Miss Zion is Violet Betancourt. Pastor Williamson.
Dear Mayor Hill and members of the City Council and the citizens of Zion, thank you for the privilege of being here tonight. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, Creator of the heavens and earth, thank you for hearing our prayers. We approach your throne with a reverence and awe. We come into your holy presence, humbly requesting of you to bless this meeting and our city's leaders, servants, and community members. We ask you to provide wisdom and discernment, especially for the members of the council as they manage what you have given them accountability over within our city. We ask that you would give peace that comes from surrendering our will and striving for your will to be done as we work and live in the city of Zion. We ask for your provisions, resources to accomplish the good work that goes on in Zion throughout the year. Thank you for the council for all the projects and activities that they have done thus far this year, such as repaired streets and the character walk last week. Thank you for all those that work in the city departments and commissions for the work they do each day. We ask that you would give us love for one another, a thirst for doing what is right in your eyes, and a renewed vision for what should be and could be among the people of Zion. God, in you we trust, and this gives us hope. We pray for our country, leaders, protectors, and citizens. We pray for peace in this land. We pray going forward in this meeting and after that you would impress upon us knowledge that you are the one who is great and powerful, who is compassionate and loving, who is wise and just, who is forgiving and the Redeemer. O Lord, with an earnest heart we give you thanks, and we ask that these requests will come to pass. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 5 is agenda changes. Do the commissioners have any agenda changes? Is there a motion to accept the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Deteen?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner McKinney?
Aye.
Mayor Hill?
Aye. Item number 6 is special presentation, Jubilee Days Parade Awards. Ms. Neal will be giving out the awards with the assistance of the fire chief and the police chief.
There we go. Thank you. The executive director, Rich Walker, was not able to be with us tonight, so he gave me this script. On behalf of the Jubilee Days Festival Commission and the Lakeshore Chamber of Commerce, I want to thank the City of Zion for all of its support, both monetary and logistical, including essential in-kind services from the Zion Police Department, Zion Fire and Rescue Department, and Zion ESDA. On behalf of Rich Walker, I would like to thank the members of the Jubilee Days Commission, and who is, just to represent the Jubilee Days Commission, we have Chief Dumian, Chief Lewis. Anybody else here that's on the commission besides myself? Okay. Well, what's that? Oh, Diane Burkemper, of course, good. No, that's it. So, thank you. Carla Villalobos is also on the committee who helps with the pageant. So moving forward, now on with the awards for the 2017 Jubilee Days Festival Parade. We have the Specialty Award in recognition of that unit best exemplifying effort and enthusiasm goes to the Zion Benton Township High School class of 1977. Come on up, kid. You guys should all go out to be holy word. Sure. Absolutely.
Sherry, did you say this is a class of
77. 1977.
It looks
Yes.
like a class of 1997.
Oh, gee.
Hey, do you guys
Yeah. We want to get, should we get the queens in?
Yeah, the Queens,
Yeah, queens, would you guys mind being in the picture?
the Queens are supposed to hand each one on, aren't they?
I don't know. Jump in there and be in the pictures. There you go, jump in. Put the bling in the picture, girls. Yeah.
You guys just scoot back a little bit?
Yeah, there you go. Good job.
Everyone else follow our lead.
Because I want to see in the camera over here too.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I follow his lead. So while he's taking the picture, just so you guys know, we have a corporate community spelling bee every year, and it's on November 2nd. It would be hysterical to have the class of 1977 participate in the spelling bee. So yes, you can do it. So, oh, yeah, see? All right, so, we got that? We have witnesses. So I know a few of you guys, so we'll track you down. So.
Okay, here you go. Big smile, everybody, right there. One more, right there. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Congratulations. Yeah, Queens, if you guys could stop there for the next pose or picture. Good job, very cool. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, next is the, thank you. The next is the theme prize. In recognition of that unit best exemplifying the theme of this year's parade, which is Happiness Is, goes to the 2017 Zion Queens pageant. So, they're already up there. You want to come up? There you go. That makes it easy. You're already up there for the picture pose. There you go.
Chief, stay there. Chief.
Yep, Chief.
Right there, big smile, guys. Right there, one more. Perfect.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Okay. Next, we have the President's Choice in recognition of that unit judged to be the most original, and that goes to Journey Church of Beach Park. Here we go. You guys have been through some huge changes this year, and congratulations on just such an amazing, smooth transition. So it's pretty exciting. Okay. All right, Queens, you want to surround them again? Jump in here, each side. Go back. There you go. All right.
Go that way a little
Yep.
bit. So we go that way so we can see the camera.
Oh.
Right there, big smile. Right there. One more. Right there.
All right. Thank you. Okay, next is the Jubilee Director's Choice. In recognition of that unit judged to be the best musical entry, and that prize goes to the North Point Church Band. Come on. There you go. Go ahead and step back with them. No, you're good.
Over here. Right there.
All right.
Oh, that's a nice picture.
That is good. That is perfect. All right, thank you. Thanks so much. Next, we have the Sweepstakes Trophy. In recognition of that unit judged to be the best in presenting animation and/or humor. And the winner this year is the Waukegan Masonic Temple. Thanks so much, you guys. Oh, very cool. You guys thought ahead for the picture for the paper.
Big smile. Here, give me here. Right there. One more. Right there. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, and then the next one we have is the Grand Jubilee Trophy in recognition of that unit judged to be the most beautiful. And that goes to the IBEW Local 150. Well, you're going to be the photographer. You don't want to be in it? Okay. There you go. Okay.
Here you go. Look at me. Right there.
Smile.
Right there. One more. Right there. Sir, do you want to get over here?
Yeah, you want-
Sir, do you want to come over here and do the shot?
Nope.
No, you're good? All right, thank you so much. And the final award is the Mayor's Trophy in recognition of that unit judged to be the best overall entry, and that prize goes to Our Lady of Humility School. Dad? Wow, see how he pushed us down? Come on.
There you go, Dad.
Wow, nice try though. All right.
Perfect. Okay, guys, ready? Here we go. Right there, big smile. Right there. One more, right there, right there.
You don't got no teeth.
Excellent, great job. Okay. On behalf of the Jubilee Days Committee, thank you everybody for your participation. You make the parade what it is, so thank you. Yeah.
On behalf of the City Council, I also want to congratulate and thank all of you for participating. The Jubilee Days Festival would not be a festival if we didn't have community members involved in enjoying it along with all of us. So thank you very much and congratulations. Item number 7 on the agenda is citizens' comments. First is W.C. Bremner from Zion.
I'm W.C. Bremner of Zion. Mayor Hill, honorable sirs, gentle ladies, I stand before you this evening to call your attention to an article in yesterday's Chicago Tribune. I believe the mayor told me one time that he regularly reads the Tribune, so he may be familiar with this article, but it basically says that the containment towers from the nuclear plant are going to be raised sometime in calendar year 2018. It discusses money and what's going to happen with the spent fuel casks And the answer to that is nothing. They're going to sit there. But I bring this article to you for your perusal. With your permission, sir, if I may approach.
Please do. Thank you, Mr. Brenner. I appreciate it.
I thank you all for your attention to this item, and I request permission to stand down, sir.
Yes, sir. Next is, I think it's Brittany Parker? Brittany Parker.
Don't record me, please. I don't think that's appropriate. I don't know. I might get in trouble. So I'm here because I just moved here, and you probably heard of me. I know Mr. Nabel heard of me because when I came here and I just bought a house, I was told that I had to pay a deposit. It was like the last 4 months of the person that owned the house before me. And I guess it has to do with the ordinance, but I think that's pretty ridiculous that I've never lived there and they could have possibly, like the deposit was $335. And I was really baffled by that, and I talked to so many different people in the city of Zion. They were like, what is it for? And I said, yes, it's the consumption of the people previous to me. And I'm like, what does that have to do with me? Because I just moved here, so my consumption has nothing to do with their consumption. And I guess if it would have been like a $100 deposit, it would have made more sense to me. But $335 was like really ridiculous. I mean, am I wrong for that? I don't know. Like, what can we do to fix that so no one else, and probably no one else has ever questioned it because it's never been a ridiculous amount. And like I said, with me being in the military, I have been to different states and I've never had to pay a deposit, maybe off credit or maybe, based off my credit or maybe based off of water from a different, or my history with another water company, but not based off what someone else used. I think that's, I don't know. Is that, everybody's looking, I don't know what to say.
I'm not familiar with that.
We have an ordinance, and Mr. Nabel is doing what he's supposed to do.
Right.
And you're doing what you're supposed to do, is be here if you don't like one of our ordinances. So you're certainly not going to get in trouble with any of us but I do like your airborne patch there.
No, it's not airborne, it's recruiter.
Oh,
Where are
on
you
the other
looking?
sleeve?
Oh, yes. No, I thought, okay, yes, because I just come from Fort Campbell.
The ordinance and the city code says that shall deposit with the city a sum of money equal to the average 3-month billing period for the property in question. That's what the ordinance says. I don't know. This is the first time anybody's raised this to us, and but I just want to be sure that you understand that Mr. Nabel is doing what he
Yes.
was supposed to do. And it says, Municipal Code Section 94 requires any owner starting a new water, sewer, and/or waste service to make application with the city of Zion to pay a deposit equal to an average quarterly bill for the last 12 months.
Right. So,
Right.
but my thing is, if I didn't live there, why am I paying you like $335 is that's a great amount when you're closing on a house just to start your water. Like that has, and maybe I'm the only one questioning it because it's so high. Maybe, like I said, if it's 100, 150, that's pretty standard across the board from where I'm coming from. So when you told me 335, I said, wait a minute, what is that for? And when they told me it was for last, the people previous, and it's just me and my daughter. So I know we're not using that much water. So it really just made zero sense to me. And I just came here to try and get some type of understanding. I understand there's an ordinance, but maybe I can help someone after me, or I don't know.
And I guess for the commissioner's information too, it says, once she gives us a deposit, we hold a deposit for a period of 2 years, as long as there are no non-delinquent accounts or payments. And then she would get that refunded after 2 years. So it's a long period of time. And I guess the issue is, I guess, Director Nabel, is this an extraordinary amount? Is this the average of what's the normal?
We've had, it is a little on the high side, but it depends on, again, the size of the house and the prior tenants. As we met and talked about it, and you know, we can't run credit for every person that comes through. We have rotating doors on some properties. So we just get an estimate based on our best guess on what a property's gonna use is prior history. We can't require deposits for a family of 4 and treat them differently than a family of 2, you know, and penalize them from that. So this is a bit on the high side, but typically 150 to 200 is probably the deposit amount. I mean, it's become higher because of rates and garbage increases over the years. So there's people that have been here 20 years that when they paid a deposit, it might have been, you know, $75. But everyone's deposit is calculated the same way.
Is it calculated on the amount of water used, or is it water, sewer, and garbage? Is
Water,
that-
sewer, and garbage.
Okay.
So 72 of that, I believe, is the garbage. And basically, it's if we don't have, you know, if a bill isn't paid, it's our way of collecting that final bill payment. You know, if it goes delinquent or things, I mean, it's the point of the deposit. But 72 of that is garbage, and the rest is based on the average of the prior 12-month water usage.
I don't think the sergeant's objecting to a deposit. It's just what it's based on, which is in the previous owner's usage, not her usage.
And also, I was told that I would get, after 2 years, I would get it back plus a 4% interest. I don't need another savings account. I don't need y'all to act as my savings account. I can, you know, save my own money my own way. I don't.
No, I understand that, but the idea is that if we're holding your money, we should give you 4% interest. I mean, that applies to everybody in the city. So
And I
even
think
if it were $100, it's not that we're trying to set up a savings account for you. We're trying to give you interest on your money that we're holding. But what's the pleasure of the council?
I would say we should take a look at that ordinance and maybe either get an average use, water use, and set a dollar amount for the deposit rather than, I can see what you're saying, based on the previous owner's usage. That's not my usage, so.
And a family of
fair way
10
to look
compared
at
to
it.
a family of 2.
That's a big difference.
It is a big difference.
Is there some way, Director Nabel, that we could say, okay, the deposit's $150 or $175 or $85 for everybody that comes in, or?
I mean, we have a minimum in there. I suppose we could put a maximum on that too, based on a residential unit. You know, but we can't, I mean, there's no way for me to know your usage until you're in there, of course. So I can't tell her average usage, what I should charge
Have an
moving
average
in.
use of all usage in the city,
Oh.
come up with a
Right.
figure.
Right.
Right, and I think, I mean, I just want to be sure that everybody understands that Director Nabel did what he's supposed to do here. He enforced the policy, and if we want to change the policy, then that's our responsibility to do that, so. Can you bear with us for a month? Can we keep your money for a month?
Well, and so what happened, Mr. Nabel did work with me, so I paid half. But I was told that if I don't pay that other half in the 30 days, which will be October, I think, when did I come? October 15, then I would get, it can get turned off if I don't pay that other half.
Do you guys see a problem with that? Ron, Dave? With setting up a deposit fee for everybody? And it doesn't,
No, I don't. I mean, it limits our risk the same degree. Some are gonna be higher, some are gonna be lower over time.
Right.
But, you know, obviously, I mean, we're still gonna have the same situation potentially, because you might have a single person that says, you know, let's say the average is 2.5 people in a house or 3 people in a house, and we're setting that as the deposit. You know, someone that has 6 people in their house is gonna be paying less as a deposit than somebody who's on their own, but it does level the playing field a bit.
right.
I'm just suggesting, I mean, is there a way to determine a number based on how many bedrooms are in the house or something? You know, like an impact fee is done, similar to something like
Could
that?
probably do that. All right, why don't we do this? You've got till October 15th, and we have a meeting October 3rd. And so we'll try and come up with a solution and have it addressed on the 3rd, and then, so you won't be out any more money in the meantime, hopefully.
Okay, thank you. I'll be back on the 3rd.
Thank you, and thank you for your service to the country.
you're
Appreciate it.
welcome. You're welcome.
Next is Tammy Williams.
Hi.
Hi.
I haven't done this before.
Tammy, just relax, no big deal. You're among friends.
I came to talk about what happened to me and my dog last Friday. Most of the people here know me. They know I have a Chihuahua, Louis Vuitton Williams. We were by East School. I walk Louis there all the time. Out of nowhere came a pit bull. God was with us that day because that dog, Mayor, could have ate my dog up. I guess what I'm really trying to get at, then I found out later, Saturday, it turned out real good. The dog's owner came down the street. What happened was the dog got loose. She wasn't aggressive, which made it good, that, like I said, because it could have, she was on Louis so fast I didn't know what to do. I fell, I hurt my knee, everything. I wasn't worried about me, I was worried about my dog. I was in front of East School. I could have handled it a lot different. The kids were hysterical, I was hysterical. The owner comes running down the street, says his dog got loose. I was understanding. Then the next day, the same dog attacked a co-worker of mine at the CTCA. We talked about it. The dog, again, got loose and attacked her and her grandchildren. Sunday, I was at 27th and Elizabeth. There are 4 Rottweilers in this yard. The fence is probably lower than that. We watched these dogs jump the fence after people coming down the street. What I'm asking, Mayor and people, Council, sorry, I just want to know, where is our dog catcher guy? Okay, I see him going up and down 27th Street. I don't see, I'm not trying to get on him. I'm just asking, Mayor, can our dog catcher be out there a little more? I don't want anybody's dog hurt. I don't want to hurt anybody's dog. But anybody that knows me knows my dog is my life. I'm not worried about me. I don't want to hurt anybody else's dog because I could have easily hurt that dog. Because after the people came down and got the dog, they let the dog go. So then the dog came after me and Louis again. I could have easily hurt that dog. I would just like more of the dog catcher kind of going around a little bit, Mayor, please. Those dogs at 27th and Elizabeth is going to get somebody. It is 4 Rottweilers. This man that does this dog is very nasty. Sorry.
It's
Just
okay.
Could you?
All right.
I just like the dog catcher a little bit more. Down 27th, I live at 27th and 2671. I walk. I would just like the dog catcher to be a little bit more out there. Not just for my dog, but every dog that's out there, please. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you. Yeah, he was okay. He was okay. Mayor.
I'm glad to hear that. Item number 8 is a consent agenda. Would the clerk please read the consent agenda?
Approval of minutes of a regular meeting on September 5th, 2017 at 7 p.m. Approval but not release of closed session minutes of a meeting held on September 7th, 2017 at 8:03 p.m. Bills, vouchers 127322 through 127467, drawn on First Merit Bank, total $807,449.04.
Is there a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. Is there discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Deteen? Aye. Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner McKinney?
Aye.
Mayor Hill?
Aye. Item number 9 is consider passing resolution as follows. 9A is adoption of the 2017 Lake County All Natural Hazard Mitigation Plan per Director Colangelo.
Thank you, Your Honor. In your packet is a resolution, adopting the 2017 Lake County All Natural Hazard Mitigation Plan. This plan must be adopted by November 14, 2017 by Lake County communities to remain eligible to receive federal mitigation funds in the event of a natural disaster. An executive summary of the plan is attached for your review. Staff requests approval of the resolution, and a full copy of the plan is available on the Lake County website.
Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve the all natural hazards mitigation plan.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Deteen?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner McKinney?
Aye.
Mayor Hill?
Aye. Item number 10 is consider passing ordinances as follows. 10A, authorizing and providing for the issuance of not to exceed $3,700,000 taxable general obligation refunding bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2017 of the city for the purpose of refunding certain outstanding obligations of the city, setting forth certain details of said bonds, including the pledge of certain revenues to the payment of principal and interest on said bonds, and a levy of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay such principal and interest if the pledged revenues are insufficient to make such payments, authorizing the deposit of said taxes directly into a designated escrow account and authorizing the execution of a tax escrow agreement in connection therewith, and authorizing the execution of a bond purchase agreement with Fifth Third Securities, Chicago, Illinois, in connection with the sale of said bonds. Second reading per Director Nabel.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. I swear that's the last time you'll have to read that.
Thank you very much.
This is just the second read on the ordinance. The bonds did go to market, and we had favorable results on this. You have actually a debt service schedule in front of you showing who quoted on it, who was interested in the purchase of the bonds. This met all the terms that we kind of set forth when we were going out to refinance this, to keep the debt service annually under $300,000, and also eliminate the balloon payment on the Series 2014 debt that we issued. So if you have any questions, like I said, it's a second read, but if you have any questions, we also have Kevin McKenna here from Spear Financial. Should you have any questions from him?
Just why is the debt service at 3.14 and the bond is for 3.7 million?
It was just an authorized not to exceed amount,
Okay,
based
all right.
on terms, you know, you do the final calculations of what it costs to issue, the remaining principal outstanding, all that stuff. They go out there with initial rates that we won't, you know, we set max on rates, which is higher than we expect, and we set principal higher than we expect, but we're only looking for the refunding. So the actual amount's much less.
Have we been able to sell the lights yet?
We're still in contact with the individuals from Sheboygan,
And,
but the answer is no,
yeah.
but we're still working on it.
And the property is for sale?
Yeah, I was going to say that. The property is for sale.
Yes.
You'll notice that the interest rate goes from 2.7 to 4.820. The 4.820 is in 2034, and I think the intention is that somewhere in the neighborhood of 2025 or 2026, or whenever we would be eligible, we would look to refinance and get a lower interest rate than the 4.82.
Well, let's sell it before then.
Well, I hope to do that too.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'll move to approve the issuance not to exceed $3,700,000 of taxable general obligation refunding bonds, alternate revenue source series 2017.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
And a second. Is there discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Deteen?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner McKinney?
Aye.
Mayor Hill?
Aye. Item 10B is to lease certain property, approximately 2,430 square feet, situated on the 18th Street right-of-way adjacent to 1721 North Sheridan Road, for the purpose of having paved access to tenant parking per Director Ianson.
Thank you, Your Honor. On October 4, 2016, the City Council passed an ordinance authorizing execution of a lease between the City of Zion, Racine Ventures Limited, for the property consisting of approximately 2,430 square feet, situated in 18th Street right-of-way, adjacent to 1721 North Sheridan Road, for access to tenant parking. The annual rent payment was set at $250. The lease expires on October 3, 2017. I respectfully request the council favorably consider renewing this lease and and pass the ordinance authorizing the execution of the lease as presented.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
A motion
Second?
and a second. Is there discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Deteen?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner McKinney?
Aye.
Mayor Hill?
Aye. Item 10C is approving and authorizing execution of an economic incentive agreement with MSD Hotels LLC, South Sheridan Road, TIF number 3, Countryman Suites, 1100 33rd Street, per Director Nabel.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. We actually have two items here tonight. We'll take them each individually, but one's a TIF incentive agreement, one's a hotel motel tax incentive agreement. You have before you first the TIF one. On June 12th, the Tax Increment Finance Board considered an application for assistance for Country Inn and Suites. They have to do a significant amount of rehabilitation and improvements, I believe directed by corporate. We have Sean Patel, the current owner and manager of this since, I believe, February of this year. But to upgrade and update the brand, this came before TIF, and you can see that there's quotes for the exterior stucco work, roof, signage, and pool repairs. The TIF board had discussions with them. We looked at about 50% of the total cost, which came to $120,000, and the TIF board recommended TIF assistance not to exceed $120,000 as defined in the agreement.
Is there a motion? Is there a discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll move approval of the 120,000
There's a
for
motion?
the TIF.
Is there a second?
Have a second, and there's some discussion, I believe, too.
We have a motion and a second. And discussion.
In the township meeting, Assessor Wickets had talked about the value of the property being reduced.
Right. I guess the concern I am, sir, is that you're asking the city of Zion for TIF money, but on top of that, you're filing an appeal with the board of review to have your assessment lowered. So I guess it's a lose-lose for the city and township. Correct?
I don't think that,
I'm asking. I'm asking you.
Hang on just 1 minute. All right, hang on just a second. The discussion that's going on here is whether the issue of lowering their real estate taxes is material or relevant to the decision on whether we give them a TIF grant. And
It's great to meet you. Yes, President.
I gotta do that. But you reminded me, I gotta turn mine off too. I'm sorry. Would you want to explain what you just said?
Well, he has the right to, is he currently appealing his
Yes.
assessment at this time? As a property owner, that's incumbent, it's incumbent upon him if he wants to do that, he has the right to do that. Was that factored in, the value of the property in any of the discussions that the board had?
No.
The TIF board had?
Yes,
No,
I'm sorry,
Okay.
No, because the appeal wasn't filed at that time.
it was not, okay.
I really feel that we should address the TIF issue
completely separately. We should not be considering this other issue about whether he's appealing his taxes or not. The TIF board reviewed this material. They're recommending that we give him the grant for this particular project. And I think we should look at it on its own merits without looking at this other issue.
I'm comfortable with that. I just raised the question, and the TIF board had approved it, so.
I would like
A
to say a
second.
couple words.
Go ahead.
We bought the property in February of this year. After we purchased the property, revenue has gone down due to the renovation we are doing. So there is a time being. The appeal we are doing is time being. During our renovation, our revenues are down. Once the property is totally renovated, the revenue will go back up. And that means the property taxes will go back to normal. So the
That's not how it
appeal,
works.
the appeal is based on the revenue of the property. It's not based on the value of the property.
Is that right, Larry?
So,
It is, income has a lot to do with it, but I'm not even sure, what did you pay for the property?
we paid 3.9 million.
And what do I have it on for?
I'm not sure.
I don't have it.
I have it.
Oh, boy, I got it right here. Let's see what it is. 3.9? Let's see, you guys are. Wow, isn't that funny? I have it on for just a little more than $3 million.
I'm not sure what is on the base of it.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, we're not gonna get into it now.
One last comment?
It's irrelevant, I guess, that's,
Mark, I mean, what indicates the best value, what indicates value? A recent sale?
Correct.
that's a different, I guess that's a question for the Property Tax Appeal Board. I'm guessing, and I would hope that you would make that argument at the Property Tax Appeal
Very
Board.
strong at the board of review, I promise you that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion?
I don't have a problem with the TIF board's recommendation, but when the TIF board reviews these requests, do they consider the value of bringing new business into town as opposed to the remodeling of existing businesses? How does that play into the decision of the TIF board?
It does play in from a standpoint of, just like they recommended with Culver's, trying to attract businesses, you need to have surrounding businesses that are also attractive. So, updated modernization, properties that aren't blighted will help to bring other businesses and be, attract developers to the area versus somebody that wants to invest in an area that has dated or old properties surrounding them. So from that standpoint, there is consideration of investing in existing properties for renovation and rehabilitation for the purpose of making the entire TIF area more attractive.
I read through the minutes of the TIF board meeting, and they asked good questions, and it was unanimous, so.
Further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Deteen?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner McKinney?
Aye.
Mayor Hill?
No. Item 10D is approving and authorizing execution of a hotel room tax reimbursement economic incentive agreement by and between the City of Zion and MSD Hotels LLC Country Inn and Suites, 1100 33rd Street, per Director Nabel.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. This incentive agreement relates to hotel motel tax, which is very restrictive in its nature on what it can be used for. It doesn't go towards city operations, salaries, things of that nature. The request to help again with the renovations and the cost of the project and the updating is that that 90% of the hotel motel tax that's collected be reimbursed over a 10-year period in an amount not to exceed $620,000.
Is there a motion? Is there a discussion?
I had a number of communications with Director Nabel this afternoon because I asked him some questions about this. And my reservation is that approving this would severely put a big dent in our motel-hotel tax fund for several years, which would limit our ability to do other projects and help other businesses. It's a big, big ask for a single entity. And I would move not to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Motion to deny.
Motion to deny, thank you.
Is there a second?
Second.
And a second.
Excuse me,
Second by Commissioner Deteen.
Is there further discussion? I guess I have the same concerns, slightly different than yours, Commissioner, but mine have to do with if he's going to get $120,000 from the city on the TIF. If he is successful at reducing his taxes, that's $60,000 that the city won't be collecting from that. And then $60,000 in hotel motel tax money is what he would be getting, $64,000, correct, Abel?
Based on actual historical.
Which would come out to $120,000 or $144,000 a year for 10 years at least. And then you add in the $120,000 for the taxes, and so you take, so that's $1.34 million,
Over a 10-year period.
over a 10-year period, it's $1.34 million. And I guess when you put one on top of the other, it just seems like we're financing, and it's my understanding that the whole renovation project is only gonna be $900,000.
Correct.
So you're gonna get $1.3 million from us over 10 years, and your renovation project is $900,000. That doesn't make good financial sense from the city's perspective, as far as I'm concerned.
Within 10 years, I'm sure there will be more improvement needed to the property.
Right, but that, and again, that's not the city's responsibility to pay for the improvements to the property. And I don't mean to be a jerk, but you purchased the property, you made a decision to purchase the property prior to talking to anybody at the city, is my understanding, and as far as getting money. And so to put a responsibility or an expectation that the city's gonna pay for all these things, I don't think it's legitimate.
I understand, Mayor. But before we purchased, we did have several meetings with economic development. After we purchased the property, our revenue had really gone down due to the CDCA had cut down their guests to stay at our property due to the renovation. So we are under already $600,000 on revenue. So the property used to do 1.6 million. Today it's doing only $1 million revenue.
But as you said, it will pick up once the renovation is complete.
Yes, it will pick up, but currently we have to invest this money, which is now we are investing in operation. So we are not able to finish the project on time, which will impact us. And the more longer term the project goes without improvements, the more guest impact will happen. So we need help now, not later.
But the hotel motel tax money, the $120,000 in TIF money is now. The $60,000 a year in hotel motel tax money, that's spread out over a 10-year period. So you're gonna get, if you would get that, that would be later, and that wouldn't help you now.
Correct, but it will help us on more longer term improvements as well,
Okay.
where we can replace the mattresses in the next 2 years, not today. So,
Is there further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll. Now,
It's a motion to deny.
So if you want to deny, the vote would be yes. If you want to allow this payment, the vote would be no, and then it would be reconsidered or whatever. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Deteen?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner McKinney?
Aye.
Mayor Hill?
Aye. Next item is discussion authorization and approval. That would be, A is consider accepting quote from Metropolitan Pump Company for installation of a new pump for the Stonebridge Crossing Subdivision Lift Station per Director Colangelo.
Thank you, Your Honor. What you have is a quote from our maintenance contractor, Metropolitan Pump Company, for Stonebridge Crossing Subdivision Lift Station. This lift station, which transfers sewage from the city's to the city's collection system, is currently running on one pump. The station is a two-pump system, so there is always a backup pump if one or the other were to fail. Pump number one has failed and is in need of replacement or repair. The city has two options: repair the existing pump at a cost of $12,536.00, or install a new replacement pump at a cost of $14,583.00. The existing pump is over 12 years old, and staff does not recommend repairing it. We therefore recommend installing the new pump for $14,583.00. Funding would be from the water fund sanitary sewer line item.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve acceptance of the quote.
Motion.
$14,583.
And the second, Commissioner Deteen. Is there discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Deteen?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner McKinney?
Aye.
Mayor Hill?
Aye. Item B is tabulation of bids, historic dome restoration project per Director Nabel.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Earlier this year, the TIF board and the city, in improving the budgets, there was a line item for $30,000 in the TIF 1 budget for restoration of the dome, including painting and the copper top and some minor repairs. The TIF board met last night. We did go out to bid for it. We actually went out to bid for it twice and received one response both times from Petrie Plastering. I believe it's I have it in front of me,
$743.
Thank you. The TIF board recommended approval of this. However, they would like to put a contingency on that approval that we get some sort of plan in place or some sort of committee to address this, because we've put money into this over time, and we just want to make sure that in the 6 or 7 years from now, if this comes up again, that we're not having the same discussion, because the last time there was donations from Zion Solution to help fund it. This time it's coming from TIF. Next time, neither will be in place. So they just wanted to make sure that there's some sort of discussion, some sort of planning for down the road to figure out how best to continue repairing this, if we continue repairing it. But they did make the recommendation that they just like a plan in place.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve this TIF financing for the dome.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
And accept the bid from Petrie.
Yeah.
Accept the bid.
It's the only one.
I guess I think it's a good idea. I mean, this is one of the things that I was particularly interested in, being sure that once we got done with the streetlights and everything else, that downtown looks really nice. That we can't walk away from the dome and leave it and let it deteriorate. But I think the TIF board has a good point. And if it's not a committee, because I don't know where we would get a large group of people to fundraise for this, we may be able to, but short of that, maybe we need to budget $6,000 a year for a 6 or 7 year period, and then we would and just accumulate it somewhere in a fund that we're not going to touch, and then when we have to do this again 7 or 8 years from now, we would have the money there.
Just set aside ongoing maintenance.
Right.
Yeah, rather than letting it go for years and then you have to do massive repairs every time it comes up.
I don't even think these are massive repairs, are they,
No.
Director?
I think last.
This is basically painting, isn't it?
Repainting.
More painting, a little bit of electrical, more painting.
Is there anything, can they put a marine varnish on, over the paint? That a marine varnish on a wood boat holds up with water and sun, and I'm just wondering if, has anybody ever done that?
Well, I know he's putting a special finish over the paint. I don't know if it's marine varnish, but there is something that works for that.
I just thought that something that would
Yeah.
work on boats and water and sun would work on the dome. And is what they put on there, is the dome gonna be gold or blue?
It's gonna still be gold.
The copper.
Copper.
It's blue right now, isn't
Copper.
it? What am I thinking of?
It was before.
Well, the reason it's blue is because it's discolored.
Right, no, I know. I know, but I would really like to get a golden dome and it's golden rather than, of course, that might be a little more expensive. Okay.
I think it's a good idea to put this in the hands of perhaps a private organization or foundation. I wonder if it's worth approaching the Historical Society to see what they think about it.
I think we can approach them, but I was going to cover up what I was going to say. They have a hard enough time.
They do, yeah, I'm on the
raising
board,
money.
so
Yeah, well, that's right, you're part of that.
It would be a huge challenge, but it does fit with,
It does fit.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be Park District property. That's one of the best things I did when I was
okay,
at
we
the
can
Park
approach the
District.
Park District.
Just get it to the city. No, and now I got it back. Talking about karma. Anyway, okay, we have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner DeTeen? Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner McKinney?
Aye.
Mayor Hill?
Aye. Item number 11 is departmental commentary. The department heads have anything to say?
I know you're gonna make an announcement about the farmer's market being relocated a block east of its normal spot. I just want to advise everyone to use extreme caution. There's possibility that there will be paving going on in that area on Thursday.
Okay.
So some of the traffic might get redirected around all of that.
Item 12 is announcements. Thursdays through September 29th, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Zion Farmers Market. There's a location change, 1 block east of Sheridan Road between Elam and Elizabeth, and they may be paving on Thursday. October 3rd, 7 p.m. the Zion City Council meeting. October 17th, 6:30 p.m. the Zion Township Board meeting. And at 7 p.m. on October 17th, there's a Zion City Council meeting. And I will not be at that meeting. I will be in Venice, Italy on that date. So, and I'll be missing you. I'll be thinking about you. October 29th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. is Zion Trick or Treat. And item 13 is we are in need of a closed session pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2, open meeting for the discussion of personnel.
Should we go into closed session?
We have a motion? And a second? Discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
You need a translator?
Sorry?
You need a translator in Italy.
I do.
Io parlo italiano abbastanza bene.
You need somebody to carry your bags?
I do. I think 2 of you guys want. You gotta pay your own way.